Well, look, he hasn't outlined what he's going to do about it, but this is a real blow to the Met. This is a force that has a long and rather bad track record when it comes to race and discrimination. It won't come as a surprise to many people, but nonetheless, the findings in this report are quite stark. As you say, it says that racism is baked within the Met. It says that its design is at the heart of all of this, and that the culture, the governance, the leadership are all of the things that produce racial harm. Just looking at some of the findings, I'll go through what the author has come to the conclusion. So black people more likely to be read as suspicious and non-compliant. The use of force is more readily authorised on darker complexions. Black women in distress are read as disruptive and therefore are restrained rather than protected. Black Muslims are disproportionately stopped under stop and search based powers. Frontline officers with African or Caribbean inflected English are ridiculed when speaking over the radio, and then that means that witnesses with non-standard English are often treated as less reliable, and black children aren't actually always considered to be children, especially girls. They're subjected to invasive strip searches under the false justification of maturity. So some really stark findings there, and this is what Dr. Shireen Daniels, who's the author of the report, said of the report. She said the same systems that sustain racial harm against black people also enable other forms of harm. Confronting this is not an act of exclusion, but a necessary foundation for safety, fairness and justice for everyone. She continues, the challenge ahead is to build the leadership discipline to face what the report has revealed and act on its findings in a way that protects the public rather than the institution. Well, the Met Commissioner, Sir Mark Rowley, has described the report as powerful, which he says shows that change is needed. But he says that the trust that black Londoners have in the Met has actually increased by 10% in the last 2 years. But that, of course, might slow down after the findings of this report have become published, because, of course, this is the latest in a string of reports into the Met that have looked into in particular discrimination. The 2023 Louise Casey review found the Met institutionally racist, misogynistic and homophobic. And of course the 1999 Macpherson report, which called the Met institutionally racist. And very quickly, some reaction from Baroness Doreen Lawrence, whose son Stephen, the 18-year-old, of course, who was killed in 1993, said racism was the reason why Stephen was killed, and racism is the reason why the police have failed to find all of his killers.